What's up, YouTube? Today we are gonna finally color match the 4RUNNER emblems on the back with some Plasti Dip. No $100 overlays, none of that stuff. It's just gonna be cheap and easy, and it's gonna look just as good. We are also doing my buddy CJ's TRD Pro. He has the Rigid Industries fog lights that we're gonna put in, and we'll try to get some shots of that for you guys since there's not that much on YouTube, and we'll be doing that at the same time. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Step 1 is gonna be to clean all of this first, because you want to have a clean area before you apply it. Then we'll tape it off, and then we'll spray. Plasti Dip's pretty self-explanatory, so here we go. All right, now that you got it all taped off, make sure that you're good with just the black showing and your emblems. You don't need to go crazy and tape off the whole thing. Maybe if it's windy, but you shouldn't be doing it if it's windy outside. Go ahead and wipe it off one last time just in case your fingerprints got all over it. Shake up your can, aim kind of down on it, and I'm gonna be doing 5 coats. It takes about 10 to 15-ish minutes in between each one. So I'm going to do 5 coats, that way when it all dries I'm able to peel it away from all the emblems, and then I'm going to see what it looks like dry, and then maybe I'll add some glossifier. The color that I'm doing it in is Anthracite, I don't know, something gray, and it was 10 bucks on Amazon plus $9 shipping. Way better than the $100 overlay emblems that Toyota does or other outside vendors, and they're still like black. It doesn't match the front. This one actually matches the Toyota lettering up in the front, so let's get at it. Back to his fog light install. We took the top off, then you gotta take all these guys out. They're what, 10 mil, right? How many down here? 2 of them were down there. All right, so you gotta take these tabs off, these tabs in here into the frame, and now the hardest part is taking off the sides. So when you eventually take this off, we already put it back on, but it's easier to see. So when you take it off, you're gonna wanna kind of pull these tabs out and then out. Now that's how you put them back on. And then this little groove right here, you wanna be able to kind of pull the bumper out over that groove. And then this whole thing, just kind of with your hand, pull it back, because there's little rivets under here, kind of like little Z rivets that it notches into. Pull it, you pulled it back towards you, right? So it's able to clear, there's little tabs inside of there, so you gotta be very careful with it because it's plastic. And then you take the fog lights off down at the bottom. And then when you have your bumper off, you just take your fog lights out, 2 Phillips, boom. This is a plug-and-play system, so it should just plug in your stock fogs. Like so. And when you turn your fog lights on, it should work. So you always want to test it first before you put everything back together. They're not on. No. Oh. Push down on that tab. Oh, okay, that tab. Yeah. And then flip it. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Sweet. So it's reverse polarity. All right, so since it's reverse polarity, before you do everything, you could use electrical tape or some heat shrink maybe, but what I like to do when it's not sitting the proper way with the clamped where it should be, I take this from work, don't tell anyone. It's we call it F4 tape. It's super expensive tape that adheres to itself, so they have free samples at work, so it's not like it's, anyways, cool, we'll do that real quick before we put the brackets onto the bumper, and then we'll put it back on the 4Runner. So the instructions are pretty simple. We're gonna add the pod onto the bracket, and you're gonna take those two out with a little Allen wrench. That goes in to make sure it's flush with the bumper, and then it comes with more mounts to just screw it in. So then when you have your pod all assembled per the instructions, you're gonna have to do these mounts opposite, because the two screws are right there on this side, and then they're opposite on the other side. So then your pod just goes in. Just move the bracket around, and make sure you leave these loose. Don't tighten anything up all the way, just in case you gotta move it. So this bracket's gonna come with a little tab. It's gonna look like you want to put it there, but you don't. You need to shove it all the way in. And it's not gonna be flush against this, because if it's flush, then it's gonna angle out, which you don't want. So it looks good. So before you put back the bumper all the way, make sure you plug them up, and then we're gonna start to angle them. So just reattach your bumper, make sure it's secure. You can go ahead and put that one in, and then the one underneath of it. So we adjusted them a little bit. They're very even. We put them up against the garage. So just shut your garage door, and then just turn on the lights to aim them at it. And this is just plug and play. So we just plug them into the factory harness, and it turns on whenever you turn the switch on. So I'll have all this down in the description as well. So on some of these glass coats, you want to make sure that you're trying to get all up inside the letter, because this is where a lot of Plasti Dip fails, and people say, oh, it's not as good as the overlays. But if you don't get it inside the letter, then it's going to start to peel whenever you power wash the vehicle or just over time. Okay, so I put about 5 coats on now. Looks really, really good. So the key to Plasti Dip is do not rush it. Let it dry and then take it off. That way, when you pull all this off, you should be able to start peeling here, and it'll peel all around all the letters. So just let it dry, and then this I'm gonna take off there, so it's still a little wet. I can tell it's still a little wet, so. There it is, all done up with everything off. Looks super, super good. I'll give you guys updates the more that I wash the vehicle, but looks really, really good. Super happy for only 20 bucks. If you guys like this video, leave a like. If you disliked, give me a thumbs down. Let me know what I could do to make it better. And subscribe for more 4Runner tutorials and mods and everything else. All right, thanks.